So for the exponential predictions, we're going to begin the same way that we did when we were making the linear predictions, which is with the global population baseline. So again, that might be fertility, that might be mortality, that might be life expectancy, whatever your population baseline you chose was. You want to be on that chart where you did the over time and then the population variable. So we want to copy and paste that graph. Just hit Command C and paste, Command V, and then drag the graph down to the bottom so that we're not messing with our data. Okay, so you can see my linear chart. I'll just go right below here for the exponential. Okay, so just like we did then with the linear, we're going to right click, add trend line, but this time we're going to do exponential. And really, right here, what we're doing is the only difference between what you do for the linear and what you have to do for the exponential. The rest of the steps from here on out are pretty much going to be the same, because I go over here, display equation, display our squared value, and we want to forecast for 100 years. Alright, so move my equation out of the way. You can see it messed up my graph again. Starts at 0 when that doesn't make sense because we want our time to start in 1700. So I want to click the years and then right click, format axis, and change my minimum to 1700. The rest it can kind of change to what it wants. Now I want to make my y-axis more understandable as well. So I'm going to right click on that, format axis, and I'm going to get rid of the negative because that doesn't make sense, and then change my units to billions. Now you can see, looking at my trend line here, it's saying that population is going to reach 300 billion in 2100. Now I think most of us would say that's an unreasonable estimate. But that's part of what exponential is it increases without bound forever, infinitely. Okay, so next step we want to do is add the years. And since I already have them, I'm actually just honestly going to copy and paste. And if you want to see how I got the years there without having to type each one individually, you're going to have to watch the linear prediction video. Okay. So now, from here, now that we have the years, we're going to use the equation from the trend line to predict the population. I'm going to make it a little bigger so we can see it. Okay, so again, I have that pesky little capital E there. So I'm going to right click, and it helps when you right click, you don't want to see the cursor bar, you want to see the cross with the arrows. So make sure, otherwise when you double click, nothing happens, as you can see. So I want to make sure that cross with the arrows is showing, double click, choose scientific, and change the decimal places to 15. And again, I'm going to make my chart bigger so I can see my equation better. Okay, so you can see my number here is 1.0629, yada, 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 capital E, negative 15. So that means I have to move the decimal place 15 to the left from here. So the decimal place is after the 1, I want to move it 15 to the left. Which means I'm going to have 14 zeros before the 1. So and then now I have 14 zeros. I'm going to start typing the rest of the number. Okay, so that was my whole first number there. And now I can ignore the E with the capital E with the negative 15 because that just told me to move the decimal 15 to the left. So it doesn't mean minus 15 or anything like that. It meant move the decimal 15 to the left, and now I don't have to deal with it anymore. So now I have that lowercase e there, which if you remember when we talked about exponential graphs, that e is actually just a number, which is 2.71828. And I'm multiplying the number I just typed times that e there. So I'm going to hit the asterisk and then type 2.71828. Okay, and now the next stuff is in the exponent there. You see how it's smaller and above the e? That means it's in the exponent. So what I need to do is, and again, you can watch my formula bar up here to see what I'm typing if it's hard to watch down at the bottom. What I need to do now to get the exponent is use the caret symbol, which is shift and then 6. Okay? And that tells Excel that this is in the exponent. And now I want a parenthesis because I want to show it that everything I'm typing next is in the exponent. So I'm going to put a parenthesis, and then I'm going to type my next number there, which is 2.8815, then a bunch of more numbers, the capital E, negative 02. So by now, hopefully you recognize negative 02 means move the decimal 2 to the left. So that means my number is now going to be 0.028815, and then I don't think you probably want me to keep reading the rest. Okay, so that was that number, and you can see at the very end of that number after the negative 02 is x. So I need an asterisk to show multiplication, and then again, x for this equation is years. So I want to click my first year there, and then n parenthesis. If you hit enter without doing the n parenthesis, you'll get an error box. Okay, so I have my formula all entered. Now I can hit enter. And let's just take a look here. Okay, you can see that already in 2014 it's predicting the population is going to be 16 billion, which is a little disappointing as far as estimates for population go. But nonetheless, I'm going to drag this across to 2100. And I get those number signs, which I love so much. So we want to go up to the top, click number, and now it displays all the numbers. Okay, we're done with this now. Forever, actually. I think. Alright, so we want, at least for this time we are, alright? We want to copy this stuff, though, now and go to the global correlation chart.